I was scrolling through our Friday 13 Discord server late one night when I stumbled across it. A story so twisted, so terrifying, it made my blood run cold. A dare that turned a thrill-seeker into a hunted man. A nightmare that didn't end when the sun came up. Welcome to Friday 13, where every tale is real, pulled straight from the shadows of our community. This story comes from Draken, a member of our community. Buckle up, because what Draken saw that night, it's still out there, waiting for its next victim. Draken's story kicks off in a sleepy little town, the kind of place where the biggest excitement is the annual fair. Until you look at the house on street. The locals called it the Devil's Den, and it wasn't just a catchy nickname. That house had a history, one soaked in blood and whispered about over generations. Back in the days, a family lived there. A mother, father, and their 2 kids. One night, they were found slaughtered in their beds, their throats slit, their eyes wide open in terror. The killer was never caught, but the rumors started fast. Some said it was the father, driven mad by something he saw in that house. Others claimed it was an outsider, a drifter who left a curse behind. By the time Draken and their friends were old enough to hear the stories, the house had been empty for decades, its walls stained with tragedy. Kids dared each other to touch the porch, but no one went inside. Not until Tommy. Draken told us it started like any other day. The group, Draken, Tommy, and a handful of others, were hanging out, bored out of their minds, when someone brought up the Devil's Den. The dare was simple. Go inside, climb to the second-floor room where the family died, and face the painting that hung there. A painting said to be cursed, its eyes following you, its presence driving people insane. They laughed about it at first, tossing around taunts and bets. But the air changed when Tommy stepped up. Thomas Page, Tommy to his friends, was the group's daredevil, the guy who'd jump off a bridge just to say he did it. With a cocky grin, he said, "I'll do it. I'll go alone." Draken tried to talk him out of it, warned him about the stories. People who went in didn't come back right, if they came back at all. But Tommy just laughed, his bravado drowning out the unease in his gut as he walked up that cracked driveway, the house looming over him like a predator sizing up its prey. Tommy crossed the threshold, and the door slammed shut behind him with a bang that echoed like a gunshot. The air inside was wrong, stale and oppressive, like the house hadn't exhaled in decades. Dust hung thick, swirling in the faint beams of light, and the smell hit him hard. Rot, damp wood, and something coppery, like old blood. The living room was frozen in time, furniture draped in white sheets, yellowed and torn, looming like shrouded figures. Every step he took sent a creak through the house, the sound bouncing off the walls, mocking him. He flicked on his flashlight, its beam slicing through the dark, but it only made the shadows deeper, more alive. His heart was pounding now, but Tommy wasn't the type to back down. He headed for the stairs, each step a test of his nerve. Draken said Tommy told them later, before he stopped talking altogether, that the house felt like it was breathing. The walls seemed to pulse, the air growing colder with every step. Halfway up the stairs, he heard it. A tapping, faint at first, like something testing the windows from the outside. He froze, swinging his flashlight around, but there was nothing, just the dark, pressing in closer. By the time he reached the second floor, his bravado was cracking. The hallway stretched out before him, lined with closed doors, each one a silent threat. He could feel eyes on him, a weight that made his skin crawl. But he didn't stop. He had to reach that room, had to see the painting. Maybe it was pride, maybe it was something else pulling him forward, something the house wanted.
Tommy,
pushed the door open, and the room hit him like a punch to the gut. The smell was overwhelming. Rot and something sour, like spoiled meat. His flashlight flickered, struggling against the dark, and then he saw it. The painting. It was massive, its frame warped and splintered, the canvas sagging under the weight of time. It showed a family, mother, father, 2 kids. But their faces were wrong. Their eyes were hollow pits, their mouths stretched into silent screams, their skin mottled and gray like corpses. Doctor said Tommy felt it instantly, a pull, like the painting was alive, reaching out for him. He couldn't move, couldn't blink. His body locked in place as those empty eyes bored into him. The air turned ice cold, and then he felt it, something wet trickling down his neck. He reached up, and his fingers came away red. Blood. He looked up, and the ceiling was weeping, crimson dripping down in slow, thick streams, pooling at his feet. Have you ever stared into something so wrong? It felt like it was staring back. Tommy told Draken that the painting wasn't just a picture, it was a trap. The longer he looked, the more he felt it pulling him in, like it wanted to swallow him whole. His head pounded, his vision blurred, and the whispers started, low and garbled, like voices underwater, calling his name. Panic took over, and he bolted, stumbling up the stairs to the attic. The blood still dripping, the whispers chasing him. He didn't know where he was going, just that he had to get away. Tommy crashed into the attic, his screams bouncing off the slanted walls. That's when he saw her, a woman's body, sprawled in the corner, her flesh peeling away, her eyes gone, replaced by wriggling maggots. The smell was unbearable, a mix of decay and something sickly sweet. But Tommy didn't run. Doctor said he wrote about what happened next in a shaky, frantic scrawl. A hunger hit him, sudden and feral, like nothing he'd ever felt. He dropped to his knees, clawing at the body, tearing into her with his bare hands. Lies poured out as he ripped into her chest, her arms, her legs, the taste of rot filling his mouth. His body was covered in scratches, deep, jagged marks, like something had caught him back. But he didn't stop. Guilt surged through him, a fleeting stab of sanity, but the madness drowned it out. He felt alive, unburdened, like he could forget everything. It's hard to imagine what went through Tommy's head in that moment, or if he was even Tommy anymore. He patched himself up with a rusted first aid kit he found nearby, wrapping his wounds in dirty bandages, ignoring the sting. He kept moving, driven by something he couldn't name. In the corner, he spotted a ladder, rickety, stained, with the words, "To Hell," carved into a sign above it. The letters smeared in what looked like blood. Draken said Tommy wrote that no one who climbed it ever came back, but he didn't hesitate. He climbed, the rungs groaning under his weight, the darkness swallowing him as he ascended into the unknown. Tommy stumbled into the room, the ladder dropping him into a void. His flashlight was useless, so he swung his arms until he hit a switch. The light buzzed on, and there it was. A rat buzzied on, and there it was. A rat, decapitated, its blood still fresh. That hunger flared again, and he didn't hesitate. He grabbed it, swallowing it whole, the taste bitter and cold on his tongue. He searched the room, desperate for a way out, and found a closet. Inside, a clown costume. Red and yellow, stained with dirt and something darker. A hatchet and a shotgun with no ammo. Draken said Tommy thought it belonged to a killer, maybe the one who'd started all this. But he didn't care. He took the hatchet and shotgun, clutching them like lifelines. When the sound started, scratches, growls, the patter of feet in the walls. Something was coming. Tommy loaded the shotgun with ammo he found nearby. His hands steady despite the fear. The scratches grew louder, closer. Rats, demons, something worse. And he braced himself. The house was shifting around him, the holes stretching around him, the walls groaning like they were alive. He glanced out a window, hoping for help, but the street was empty, the world beyond the glass, warped and silent. Then he saw it, a small wooden box on a table, etched with strange symbols. He opened it, and screams erupted, fire flaring inside, showing him faces. The family from the painting, the woman in the attic, all trapped, all pleading. He slammed it shut, but the house wasn't a house anymore.
It was a prison, a nightmare with no end.
Tommy thought it was over, that he'd imagined it all, until a dart pierced his neck. He woke up chained to a bed, the metal biting into his wrists, a clown standing over him. Its grin was wide, too wide, its teeth stained yellow and red. Dr. Dan said Tommy screamed as it raised a knife, the blade glinting in the flickering light. It sliced off his finger, clean, precise, and blood poured out, pooling on the floor. The pain was white-hot, searing through him, and the clown laughed, a sound that drilled into his skull. Then it turned and left, leaving him bleeding, alone, the chains rattling as he fought to break free. Tommy tore free, wrapping his severed finger with a strip of his shirt, the blood soaking through. He stumbled through the house, smashing a window with a brick, screaming for help, but the world outside was wrong. His friends stood there, frozen like statues, their eyes blank, their mouths open in silent screams. Despair clawed at him, but then he found it, a loaded gun, hidden under a floorboard. He gripped it, the weight grounding him. The hunted became the hunter. He returned to the room, waiting, gun raised, until the clown came back. "You're done," he said, pressing the barrel to its head. The clown laughed. "You think you can kill me?" And Tommy pulled the trigger. The clown's head exploded, blood and paint splattering the walls, but it swung a sledgehammer with its dying breath. Tommy woke up, again, in a bed, sunlight pouring in, the sound of kids laughing outside. The camp counselor, Jay, grinned down at him. "Well, you're finally awake," Jay said. Tommy nodded, shaky. "Yeah, just a weird nightmare," Jay laughed. "Sounds epic. Breakfast time." Tommy followed, picking at his food, sitting with a group of kids, the normalcy washing over him. An alarm blared, and they gathered by a water fountain. He took a sip, and then Jaden burst from the bathroom, yelling about a clown with a hand in its mouth. Tommy laughed, thinking it was a joke, until he saw it too. Relief turned to terror in an instant. The kids laughed at Tommy, until a campus head rolled across the floor, blood spraying everywhere. Chaos erupted, and Tommy felt it, a knife in his side, poisoned, burning. He collapsed, darkness swallowing him. He woke up, again, in his own bed at home, the nightmare finally over. He stumbled downstairs, gulped water, and froze. A demon stood by his mother, its claws dripping, its eyes black. He ran outside, the horror chasing him into the daylight. This wasn't a dream, it was real. October 13th, 2000. Doctor carries the scars, the proof, the fear. Check the comments. I'll share what I can. Tommy made it out, but he wasn't the same. Draken said he stopped talking about that night, his cocky grin replaced by a haunted stare. He'd flinch at shadows, wake up screaming about clowns and paintings. His friends drifted away, scared of the darkness he carried. The Devil's Den still stands, untouched, its windows watching the town like eyes that never blink. Draken swears they saw Tommy go back once, standing at the edge of the driveway, staring at the house like it was calling him. Maybe it was. What would you do if a dare pulled you into a nightmare you couldn't escape? Tommy's story isn't just a tale, it's a warning. The virus of dares spreads, waiting for the next fool to step inside. That's Draken's story, straight from the heart of our Friday 13 Discord server. I'm so thankful they shared it with us. It's raw, real and terrifying. Got a horror story of your own? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If this chilled you to the bone, smash that like button, subscribe, and join our Discord. Links in the bio. Share your scariest experiences, and we might feature them next. This is Friday 13, signing off. But the darkness never sleeps. I froze when I heard it. My mom's voice calling my name from the woods behind our house. My chest tightened, heart pounding so loud I could feel it in my throat. She wasn't home. She couldn't be home. I was alone, or at least, I thought I was. Within seconds, that voice twisted into something unnatural, something I can't unhear. It stuck with me, clawing at my mind ever since. Stay with me. This is real and it's about to get worse. You'll see why I still check the shadows. This isn't fiction. I lived this. I poured it out on Reddit. Right there are true scary stories. You're looking at the proof now, that screenshot behind me. I had to get it out, to tell someone about the nightmare that swallowed me whole. Here at Friday 13, every story is true, pulled straight from the people who survived them. This one's mine. It started years ago, when I was a kid, in a cramped house next to a busy road, Walmart glowing across the street, burger joints buzzing. But behind us, woods, thick, endless, the kind that eat the daylight. I thought I knew what fear was back then. I was wrong. Let's go back, step by step, into the dark. I'll set the scene. Picture a small house, paint peeling, porch creaking under every step. Traffic hummed day and night. Trucks, cars, life. But those woods, they were a wall of silence. A world apart. I'd explore them with my grandparents. Twisting trails, mossy rocks, the smell of pine so sharp it stung. That day though, I was alone. Mom was at their place, a few miles off. The house felt hollow without her. Just me, a stack of comics, and a quiet I didn't notice until it broke. I was on the couch, halfway through a Spider-Man issue, when it hit. Hey, my mom's voice, soft but clear, drifting from outside. I jolted up, comic sliding to the floor. My pulse kicked hard. She wasn't due back till dark, hours away. I leaned toward the window, peering out. The road stretched empty, cars rolling by, headlights cutting the dusk. No one there. Then again, hey, louder, sharper, pulling from the woods. I couldn't move at first. Was she hurt? Lost? My brain scrambled for answers. I yelled, "Mum, you okay?" Nothing. Just the traffic's drone. I grabbed my sneakers, laces still untied, and stumbled to the porch. The air hit me, thick, damp, like stepping into a fog that wasn't there. I called again, "Mum?" My voice cracked. Then, "Hey," softer now, curling from the tree line. I squinted into the shadows. No movement, no birds, just that voice, tugging me closer. I crossed the yard, grass crunching underfoot, my gut twisting tighter with every step. Halfway there, it changed. Hey. It was her voice, but wrong. Too slow, too deep, like it was sinking into itself. I froze. Then it came again, behind me, from the porch. I whipped around. The door hung open, swaying slightly. My breath caught. I sprinted back, slammed it shut, and fumbled the lock, keys clattering to the floor. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Ever been alone and felt eyes on you? That's when the silence took over, and it was heavier than the voice. The woods went quiet, too quiet. No cars, no wind, nothing. Like the world blinked out. I pressed my face to the window, breath fogging the glass. My reflection stared back, pale, eyes too wide. Then, hey, right there, inches from my face, outside the pane. I stumbled back, crashing in. That wasn't her. Couldn't be. My mind spun. Prank, neighbor, something worse. I grabbed the phone to call her. Deadline, just static, hissing back at me. I stood there, frozen, gripping the phone. The house felt smaller, walls closing in. Then, from the kitchen. Inside, my stomach lurched. I didn't look, couldn't. A shadow flickered across the wall, long, thin, bending where it shouldn't. I bolted upstairs, footsteps pounding, and locked my bedroom door. I dove under the covers, heart hammering so loud it drowned everything else. What would you do? Tell me below. I'll read every word, because it didn't end there. I stayed there, curled up, till the sky lightened. Till the sky lightened. Hours of nothing but my own breathing, shallow, ragged. When Mum got home, I spilled it all, voice shaking. She held me, said it was a nightmare. Stress maybe, but her eyes, they flickered. She didn't buy it either. The next day, it came back, fainter, from the woods again. Hey, I stayed inside, blinds down, lights on. Every night after that, I'd hear it. Sometimes close, sometimes a whisper on the wind. The air turned sour when it called. Wet earth, rot, like something dead was exhaling nearby. One evening, I cracked. I peeked through the blinds, just a sliver. Something moved, tall, dark, shifting between the trees, not human. Too long, too fluid. My throat closed up. I slammed the blinds shut, told myself it was a deer, a trick of the light, but my hands wouldn't stop trembling. I started sleeping downstairs, closer to the door, like that saved me. Weeks dragged on. The voice got bolder. Hey, right at the window some nights, tapping the glass. I'd wake up to scratches on the frame. Shallow, but real. Mom saw them too, said it was branches, wind. Her voice shook when she said it. I felt it watching, always. We couldn't stay. Grandparents took us in for a bit. The voice didn't follow. At first, I'd sit on their porch, staring at the fields, waiting for it. Nothing. We moved a month later. New town, new house, no woods. Clean slate. I buried it deep, locked it away. Life felt safe again, until it wasn't. Months later, I was in bed, drifting off. Then, hey, right outside my window, my eyes snapped open. My heart stopped. I ripped the curtain back. Nothing but the yard, moonlight glinting off the grass. I told myself I dreamed it, rolled over. Then my cousin screamed from the hall. He'd heard it too, her voice, calling me. He burst in, face white, babbling about it coming from downstairs. We checked, empty house, doors locked. We sat up all night, lights blazing, TV blaring static to drown the silence. Around 3 a.m., it called again. Hey, so close I swore I felt breath on my neck. I spun around, nothing. Then, silence. Dead, heavy silence. It never came back after that, but I don't sleep easy. Some nights, I wake up, ears straining, half expecting it. Was it her? Something wearing her voice? Or worse, something that didn't need a voice at all. My cousin swears he saw it that night. Tall, dark, slipping into the shadows. Gone. I posted this on Reddit years later, desperate for answers. Comments flooded in. People who'd heard voices too, felt watched. It's not just me. I've never gone back to that house. Don't know what it was. A mimic? A spirit, something older tied to those woods. I hear it in dreams still. Hey, soft, pulling me back. Maybe it's waiting. Maybe it followed and lost interest. Or maybe it's out there now, calling someone else. Real, or my mind breaking apart? If this hit you hard, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your own true horror story in the comments. The creepiest ones get featured next. Yours might be up soon. I read every single one. So, tell me, ever heard a voice that shouldn't be there? Got a story screaming to be told? Hit up our Discord, links in the bio, and share your real terror. Next video could be you. Thanks for walking through this with me. Stay safe out there. And if you hear your name in the dark, don't answer. I was 9 years old, alone in my room, when I saw it. A tall silhouette standing outside my bedroom window, staring in. Then, flash, a blinding light, a camera snap. My heart stopped. No footsteps, no car, just silence. Within seconds, I'd realize I'd never feel safe again. Stay with me, this nightmare's real. This isn't just a story, it's my life, and I lived it. I posted it myself on Reddit. That's the proof behind me, where I poured out this terror. Here at Friday 13, every tale is true. This one's no exception. It happened in late 1999 or early 2000 in Wake Forest, North Carolina, when I was just a kid. I thought I was safe in my own room, watching TV, until that night turned everything I knew upside down. Let's go back, step by step, into the dark. It was late 1999, maybe early 2000, I don't remember exactly. I was 9, maybe 10, living in Wake Forest, North Carolina. Small town, quiet streets, the kind of place where you'd leave your doors unlocked. My mom was a single parent, working long hours, so I was home alone a lot. That night was like any other, me in my room, sprawled on my bed, watching TV. It was probably some cartoon, maybe a rerun of Cat Dog. I'd watch until I got sleepy, usually around 8 or 9 p.m. My room was at the back of the house, first floor, with a big window facing the yard. Mom always kept the blinds down. She was paranoid about someone peeking in, but I'd crack them sometimes, just to see the stars. That night, I don't know why, but I felt off, like something was pulling at me. I parted the blinds, just a little, and looked out. The yard was dark, moon barely a sliver, no streetlights back there. I squinted, trying to make out the shapes. That's when I saw it. A tall silhouette, standing dead center in the grass, facing my window. My stomach dropped. It wasn't moving, just standing there, too tall, too still to be human. I couldn't see a face, just a shadow, blacker than the night around it. My heart slammed my ribs. Then, flash, a blinding white light, a camera snap, right in my face. I flinched, eyes burning, and stumbled back. The light was gone as fast as it came, leaving spots dancing in my vision. I froze, breath caught in my throat. No footsteps running away, no car peeling off, just silence. Pure, suffocating silence. I lunged for the light switch, flipped it off, and dove back to the window. Nothing. The yard was empty. My hands shook as I yanked the blinds shut. Who was? Why my window? What kind of creep takes a picture of a kid's room at night? I ran to the living room screaming for Mom. She wasn't there, working late again. I called her, sobbing, barely getting the words out. Someone's outside. She rushed home, found me curled on the couch, shaking. She checked the yard, nothing. No tracks, no signs. She hugged me, said it was probably a prank, some teenager with a camera. But her voice wavered. She didn't believe that. That night changed me. I kept replaying it. Who was out there? Why me? It was late 99 or early 2000, before smartphones, before everyone had a camera. If someone took that photo, they had a physical camera, a flash, and they'd planned it. No one just walks around with a camera at night snapping random kids' windows. Mom started locking the doors, checking the yard every night. She wouldn't let me sleep in my room for weeks. Made me bunk on the couch, but I'd hear things, taps on the glass, faint whispers of my name. I'd peek through the blinds, heart pounding, expecting that silhouette. It never came back, but the questions did. Where did that photo go? Who saw it? Was I the only one they photographed? Ever had a moment that sticks with you, no matter how hard you try to forget? That's what this did to me. Tell me in the comments. I'll read every one. Because it didn't end there. We moved a year later. New house, new town, trying to leave it behind. But I couldn't. I'd wake up at night, heart racing, feeling watched. I'd check the window, nothing but my reflection, pale and wide-eyed. Then I started hearing it. My name, whispered low, from the dark outside. I'd tell Mom, but she'd brush it off. You're stressed, she'd say. I wasn't. One night, I saw it again. New house, new yard. Same silhouette. Tall, thin, standing at the edge of the grass, staring at my window. No flash this time, just watching. I froze, breath fogging the glass. It didn't move. I didn't either. Then, gone. I started researching later. Old forums, local stories. Wake Forest had whispers, missing kids, strange sightings in the woods. Nothing concrete, just rumors. But it fit. Someone, or something, was out there that night, and it knew me. I'm older now. Years past that night, but it's still with me. I keep my blinds shut, lock my windows, even in summer. I dream of that flash, that silhouette, my name on its lips. I posted this on Reddit as Tinlin, hoping for answers. People shared their own stories. Silhouettes, whispers, cameras in the dark. I'm not alone, but that doesn't help. Last month, I went back, drove past the old house. It's abandoned now, windows boarded, yard a mess. I stopped, just for a second. The air felt wrong, thick, heavy, like that night. I swear I saw it. A flicker in the window, then gone. My name whispered low. I floored it, out of there, hands shaking. Ever felt something follow you, no matter how far you run? That's what this is. Drop your story below. I need to know I'm not the only one. Because I think it's still out there, waiting. I don't know who took that photo, or what they did with it. Was it a person? Something else? Why me? A kid, alone, in a small town? I'll never know. But I feel it sometimes, that weight, that stare. I keep my windows covered now. I don't look out at night. I can't. If this left you chilled, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your own true horror story in the comments. The scariest ones get featured next. Yours could be up soon. I read every comment. Helps me know I'm not alone. Want your story told? Join our Discord server and share your real horror. Links in the bio. Next video might feature you. Stay safe out there. And keep your blinds shut. You never know who's watching. I stood in that cramped bathroom, the mirror inches from my face, my breath fogging the glass in shallow bursts. The candle flickered, casting jagged shadows on the walls. Bloody Mary, I whispered. 3 times, each word heavier, like stones sinking into dark water. The air turned frigid, clawing at my skin. Then, a sickly green light pulsed behind the mirror, and I saw her, pale, eyeless, her lips curling into something wrong. My friends called it a prank, but by dawn, something hunted us. Stick around, this is real, and it's worse than you think. This isn't some campfire tale I dug up. It's mine. I lived it, breathed it, and 5 days ago, I posted it on Reddit. You're seeing it now. My words, my terror, unfiltered. Here at Friday 13, we don't mess with fake scares. This is the real deal. It was late 2020, a random night with my buddies, and what started as a dumb dare spiraled into the most terrifying moment of my life. Let me take you there, to that house, that mirror, and the thing we unleashed. Picture it, midnight, maybe 1 a.m. The three of us sprawled out in my buddy's basement. His place was massive, old, creaky, with balconies jutting out like bones and stairs that twisted up 3 floors. His mom, sister, and their scruffy little dog were asleep upstairs, oblivious. Downstairs, it was just us, the air thick with sweet hookah smoke curling from the hose we passed around. We were 18, maybe 19, too old for ghost stories, too young to know better. One of them smirked, eyes catching the dim light. Let's summon Bloody Mary. I laughed, short, sharp, dismissive. That kid's game? Say her name 3 times in a mirror. Wait for the ghost? Lame. But they kept at it. Don't chicken out, man. Fine. We grabbed a stubby candle, shuffled to the bathroom, and locked the door behind us. It was tight, barely room to breathe. The mirror was ancient, edges chipped, reflecting our faces in the unsteady glow. The tiles gleamed faintly, cold underfoot. I set the candle on the sink, watching wax drip like blood. My breath fogged the glass, and a prickle ran up my neck, some gut instinct begging me to bail. I ignored it. Lights off. Darkness swallowed us. I struck a match, the flame trembling as it coaled the wick. Shadows stretched across the wick, twisting into shapes that didn't fit. We faced the mirror, the drip, drip, drip of the faucet, counting down like a pulse. Bloody Mary, I said, voice barely audible. The air shifted, colder. Bloody Mary, my friends giggled. Nervous, brittle sounds. Bloody Mary. 3rd time. Nothing, just silence. Fake, suffocating silence. Then, a hum. Deep, vibrating through the floor. The candle flared, nearly died. My chest locked up. I couldn't move. The shadow moved, not in the mirror, behind it. A faint green light pulsed, staining the tiles, like something alive was waking up. My buddy grabbed my arm. You see that? I nodded, mouth dry as ash. We stumbled out, slamming the door, forcing laughs. High-pitched fake, just the candle messing with us, I said. No one believed it. My pulse hammered, loud in my ears. We spilled onto the balcony, gulping cold air. The night was dead still. No wind, no crickets. Then we saw it. A sedan parked on the main road. Lights off, engine silent. Odd, but we shrugged it off. Until another car gunned it up the street. Too fast, too close. I was walking the roadside with them, mid-sentence when it swerved, tires screaming, missing me by inches. I leapt back, heart slamming against my ribs. It stopped 50 meters ahead, idling, exhaust curling in the dark. It's coming back, my friend shouted. We ran. Ever feel like something's watching you from the shadows? Drop it in the comments. I'm reading everything. Because that's when the house turned against us. Back inside, weird stuff started. Footsteps creaking down the hall. Slow and deliberate. A glass on the counter slid an inch. No one near it. The dog upstairs whined, scratching at the floor. We told ourselves it was nothing, but the air felt wrong. We bolted down the balcony stairs, wood groaning under us. That sedan's headlights sliced through the night, blinding, chasing. The engine roared, tires shrieking. As it closed in, my lungs burned, legs pumping. but it was relentless. We cut around a corner, panting, thinking we'd lost it. Then those lights flared again, rounding the bend. My friend screamed, "It's her." I didn't look back. The stench hit me. Wet earth, rot, like something dead was clawing up from the ground. We dove back into the house, slamming the door, fumbling the lock. The dog went ballistic upstairs, barking through the walls. We crouched in the basement, peering through the blinds. The sedan sat there, headlights off now. A figure stood beside it, an Uber driver, or so his jacket said. Motionless, watching. Was this Bloody Mary, or something we'd dragged out with her? I tried to joke, just some psycho driver. My voice cracked. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. The cars vanished at dawn. We didn't sleep, just sat there, staring at the floor. My friend's mom shuffled down later, rubbing her eyes. "Why do you all look dead?" I couldn't say it. We'd called something, and it merely took us. I went home, but it followed. I started seeing her, Bloody Mary, in flashes. A window at dusk. My phone screen, late at night. That green light, those eyeless sockets, burned into my head. I told a friend days later, voice shaking over coffee. He laughed, gentle, skeptical. "You were freaking out over nothing." But I wasn't. Alone, I'd hear it. A low hum, like the sedan's engine, trailing me on my motorbike rides home. Roads I knew turned alien, shadows stretching too long. Then, last week, a tap, tap, tap on my window. I didn't look. Couldn't. I had to end it. Last night, I went back, alone. That bathroom, candle in hand, I faced the mirror. "Leave us alone," I shouted, voice breaking. The air iced over. A laugh, deep, wet, rumbled from the glass. The green light blazed, and there she was, Bloody Mary, her skeletal hand pressing the mirror, smearing blood that wasn't there. I swung, fist shattering the glass, shards cutting deep. Blood dripped down my arm. Silence fell, heavy and final. But it's not done. This morning, I found scratches on my door. 3 jagged lines. My friends won't answer my calls. I posted this on Reddit to warn you. Don't say her name. She's real, and she's waiting in the dark. If this hit you hard, smash that like button, subscribe, and tell me your own horror story below. I'm featuring the creepiest ones next. Ever tried Bloody Mary? Seen something in a mirror you can't unsee? Share it. I'll read every comment. Want your tale on the channel? Join our Discord, links in the bio, and spill your real scares. Next video might be yours. Stay safe. Check your locks. She's out there. I woke up to my own voice, screaming my name from the hallway of that cursed hotel room. Although I was alone, my blood froze as I sat there. Sheets tangled around me, staring into the pitch-black corner. Was it me, or something wearing my skin? Within seconds, that scream turned into a whisper, clawing at my skull, and I knew this wasn't a dream. Stick with me, because this nightmare's real, and it's about to get worse. This story is real, folks. I lived it, and I posted it myself, right there on Reddit for anyone brave enough to read. That screenshot you see? It's my own words, my own terror, shared on Reddit under a throwaway account because I couldn't face it with my real name. Here at Friday 13, every tale is true. This one's no exception. It hit me back in July 2020 when I checked into a rundown hotel in Ohio, thinking it'd be a cheap stop on a road trip. Big mistake. Let me take you back to that night, step by step, so you can feel the dread I did. It was late, the kind of sticky July night where the air clings to your skin like damp regret. I'd been driving for hours, bleary-eyed, when I saw it. A flickering neon sign that barely read, Hotel. The lot was empty, gravel crunching under my tires. I grabbed my bag and shuffled inside. The clerk didn't look up, just slid me a key for room 13 and muttered, "Keep it locked." I smirked, but my gut twisted. The room was a dump. Peeling paint, a mattress that sagged like it'd given up, and a window that wouldn't shut. I dropped my stuff and flopped onto the bed. That's when I heard it, a creak from above. I stopped breathing. The hotel was supposed to be empty. Just me. I told myself it was nothing, old pipes or something. Then, a thud, heavy, right overhead. My skin prickled. Something was up there. I sat up, heart thudding against my ribs. The creak came again, slower, like footsteps pacing the ceiling. I grabbed my phone. No signal, of course. Typical. Then it happened. My name, whispered low and ragged from the hallway. My own voice. I froze. Alone. I croaked. Nothing. Silence so thick it choked me. I crept to the door, peeked through the peephole. Empty. Just shadows swaying under a flickering bulb. But that whisper, it came again. Closer. "You're here." My voice, but not mine. I yanked the door open, adrenaline pumping. The hall stretched dark and endless. I stopped breathing. A figure stood at the far end. Tall, thin, faceless. It didn't move, just watched. Ever felt trapped by your own shadow? That's where I was. Have you ever heard your own voice when you didn't speak? Drop it in the comments. I'll read every one. Because right then, it stepped closer, and I saw my face staring back. It glided forward, no sound, no footsteps. Just this sick, smooth motion. My face, my clothes, but the eyes, black pits, hollow and endless. I stumbled back, slamming the door, jamming the chair under the knob. My breath came in gasps. "This isn't real," I muttered. But the air thickened. Wet earth, wrought, like a grave opened up. The whisper slithered through the cracks. "Stay." My voice again, twisted, pleading. I grabbed my bag, ready to bolt, but the window rattled. I spun around. My reflection. It wasn't me. It grinned, teeth too sharp, eyes too dark. I smashed my fist into the glass. Pain shot up my arm, but it didn't break. The mimic laughed. My laugh, warped and wrong. I was trapped, cornered by myself. Hours blurred. I sat against the wall, knife from my bag in hand, staring at the door. The chair didn't budge, but the whispers grew, overlapping now, a chorus of me. My phone buzzed, impossible with no signal. A text, "Look behind you." I whipped around, nothing, just the mirror, cracked now, reflecting that thing closer. I threw the phone. It shattered. The lights flickered. Once, twice, out. Darkness swallowed me. I heard breathing, not mine. Red breathing, not mine, slow and ragged, inches away. I swung the knife blindly. The blade hit nothing, but the breathing stopped. Silence pressed in, heavier than before. Then, a knock. My blood ran cold. It was above me again. Ever felt like something's wearing your skin? Tell me below. I need to know I'm not crazy. Because then, it came through the door. The chair flew back. The door creaked open, slow and deliberate. There, it stood. Me, but taller. Stretched. Its head tilted at a wrong angle. I screamed, lunging with the knife. It caught my wrist, cold iron grip, and twisted. The blade clattered to the floor. "You can't leave," it hissed, my voice dripping with venom. I tore free, crashing into the wall. I bolted past it, down the hall, footsteps pounding behind me. The mimic's laugh echoed, mine, but crueler. I hit the stairs, tripped, rolled to the bottom. Pain seared my leg, but I ran. Lobby, out the door, into the night. The hotel loomed behind me, windows glowing faintly, like eyes tracking my every move. I didn't stop until I hit the highway, flagged a trucker, and begged him to drive. I made it home, shaking, swearing I'd never go back. But it didn't end. Nightmares, my face, those eyes, every night since July 2020. I posted this on Reddit, desperate for answers. Some called it a mimic, a thing that steals your shame. Others said the hotel's cursed. I don't know what's true, but last week I found a photo in my bag. Me, asleep in room 13, taken from above. I didn't take it. Something did. And sometimes I hear that whisper still. My name, in my voice. If this left you shaking, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your own true horror story below. The scariest ones get featured next. Yours could be up soon. Want your story told? Join our Discord server and share your real horror. Links in the bio. Next video might feature you. Thanks for staying with me through this hell. Stay safe out there. And if you hear your name in the dark, don't answer.